attention to canoeing, and earlier this month saw the running of the Liffey Descent. The event once again attracted a large number of international competitors, and among the cream were the reigning Olympic 500 metres champions Ian Ferguson and Paul MacDonald of New Zealand. Seeking to hold off all visiting opposition were Ireland's Ian Pringle and Howard Watkins, your commentator George Hamilton.
The Liffey at its picturesque best, providing one of the finest stretches of racing river in Europe. And with some 30 million gallons of water from the ESB's dams at Poulafuka and Leixlip guaranteeing the flood, the event is unique. Small wonder then that over 600 canoeists are taking part. But there's more than water to running the Liffey Descent.
Work started on this race more or less a year ago. As soon as the last race is over, we started on this one. We had a small committee of 3 or 4. And as the race got nearer, it built up to a committee of maybe 10 people. We've about 100 helpers today, and coordinating all that takes a lot of work. We also have a lot of international teams over, and that means a lot of international work, meeting people at international regattas and lining them up for this race.
The Olympic K2 champions are in the lineup, so too Ireland's top medal winner in the descent.
We've got the cream of the world here this year. It's fabulous to see it. I mean, obviously the Kiwis are going to be very fast off the line. Probably 10 seconds quicker than me over 500 metres, so I've really got to try and hang on up to the first weir. I think it'll settle down in what we call the jungle after the weir. You know, it's a very tight tree section, and I would say they'll be pushing to get a lead at that point. And there's some Wells brothers from England, they're both very good. We raced them here last year. We know their form, and they're very fast.
Those Wells brothers, Paul and Michael, are one of the top English racing pairs, but they know what it's going to be like here.
Yeah, it's very tough. Got the New Zealanders who we good to watch, and of course the Irish who know the course very well.
Have you entered this before?
Yes, we've done it 3 or 4 times now. We won the race in '88. Unfortunately, we didn't finish in last year when our boat broke. Only 10 minutes from the start, we shot the first weir at Stratland, and then we started going in amongst the trees, and we lost our steering. Unfortunately, had to retire. Just can't race in without a rudder in these conditions.
Tactics have to be sophisticated.
Blasted like hell to the first weir and hope we get down it first. I think after that it's a matter of just being clean and just carry on paddling all the way. You know, no burns, just keep it steady and be clean on the weirs.
It's an event without which the canoeing calendar is incomplete.
Oh yes, it's a must. It's the event for me each year, as it is for most paddlers, and you can see by the crowds here today. It's the race that every paddler aims or achieves to want to complete or to paddle in.
You've got to bring the boat around here, drop straight down. Because if you don't, to do anywhere else, you're going to wreck the nose off your boat. If you do anywhere else,
well, this isn't wrecking the nose, rather removing potential weed collectors, for a smooth bow means a cleaner run.
You know, when it comes to these things, it's all a numbers game, you know.
Well, it'll be 10 hours all together. We're all travelling in different classes, but this is the first time we've done it. And this boy hasn't paddled a lot before, but we'll get there.
I think there's about 6 canoes from Sutton High School and 5 from Indefatigable College in Anglesey. Unpronounceable College in Anglesey, it sounds better.
The canoes have been checked for safety. The competitors too. Staying afloat, after all, is the name of the game. Takes all sorts, though. Wonder how buoyant they are, and how far they'll get. The start is just upriver from Strathern Weir, in the grounds of the Kildare Hotel and Country Club. 617 will set off. 17.6 miles downriver is the UCD Boat Club at Island Bridge. The leaders should be there in about 2 hours. But everybody's equal at this stage, and they're off. And in the white boat, the New Zealanders, the Olympic gold medalists, Ferguson and MacDonald. They can be expected to set the pace. Watch out too for our own Watkins and Pringle. Their number is 3. And here they're occupying 3rd place. behind those Kiwis, and Misson and Elliott for England. Now it's 500 metres to the New Zealanders' first test, Strap and Weir. They've created their lead as Olympic 500 metre champions. But there'll be a little bit of apprehension here. They haven't seen this before. Safely negotiated. But no such luck for Misson and Elliott, which immediately puts the Irish lads into second. If they can get through, which they can. Then come the Wells brothers, winners in 1988, Alan Heath and Ed Shaw. Behind them, Ian Tordoff, Melvin Swallow. From Selbridge, Sean Martin and Donald McIntyre. And Paul Murphy and Brendan Devlin. Safely negotiating Strap and Weir. Lewis and Horrell of England, senior K2 class, showing perhaps how not to do it. But behind Vincent McNamee in the cap here, Ray Hickey should know how to do it. He's a senior instructor with the Canoe Union. That's how it should be done. Strap and Weir from several hundred feet, graphically illustrating just what faces these intrepid canoeists. The first of the touring boats, shorter and more stable than the outright racers. Safely over, Greg Farrell and Joe Ganley, the kayak club in Terranure. The river can provide a fair share of banana skins. That's O'Donnell and Sheridan on their way down. And the leader in the K1 class is leader no more, Tim Healy out of his boat. Noel O'Connell safely through, Fergus Cooper. Another casualty, but Pete Connor still battling on in the green boat in the K1s. Gary Meyer successfully shot the Weir, as did Malcolm Banks, last year's winner in this class. There are others taking a swim. This is the men's senior open singles, 170 starting here. Some way behind the faster boats ahead. Strap and Weir, the first hurdle for David Francis in the men's junior K1. Conor Maloney doing well to hold his balance, but fortunate not to break a paddle there. 3 times, and still he's up. The bearded Jerry Collins, paddling for years, represented Ireland at the Munich Olympics. These are the New Zealanders, Ferguson and McDonald in the senior K2 and in front. This is the jungle, a stretch of river where the trees have left only the narrowest of gaps in places. Overhanging branches and tight turns make this a very daunting section of the course. In second place, Ian Tordoff and Melvin Swallow from Chester. Swallow in the red is a former British slalom champion. Behind these, leading the chasing group, the first placed Irish boat, Ian Pringle and Howard Watkins. And Strap and Weir, leading the whitewater class, Pete Spence from Belfast. Behind him, Mick O'Mara from Waterford and Oisin Cahill from Kilcullen. These whitewater boats are designed for rough water racing. They're more buoyant and stable. Leading the open singles, John Keegan. Lead is now a minute and a half. They're approaching Temple Mills Weir. They're approaching it with caution. Safely through, showing the class of Olympic gold medalists. They're using wing paddles based, as you might expect, on the design of an aircraft wing. This is a major change and being put to good effect by the leaders. Rough water experts, Ian Tordoff and Melvin Swallow. Temple Mills posing no serious threat to them. in the senior K2s, Pringle and Watkins. They found a faster route. Behind them, Alan Heath and Ed Shaw.
1 minute 40 in front of you. 1 minute 40 in front of you.
That translates into half a mile on the water. Vanessa Weir for the New Zealanders. A relatively straightforward shoot. Back upstream at Temple Mills Weir, the Wells brothers. A little bit of a swim in the jungle. They're fighting back now to try and regain their position. Another pair of brothers behind them, the Cassidys. Then there's Pete Connor chasing the leading K1s. Pete paddled for Ireland at the Seoul Olympics. Gary Meyer on his way through Temple Mills Weir. He knows this part of the river very well. He might have expected to do better than that. Darkin Phillips in the white leading this private little battle. Fraser and Kirkpatrick next. And beneath the arches at Selbridge. Temple Mills again, Robin Love, who's competed in over 21 Liffies. In the green boat with the green paddles. Sean O'Quinn here in the junior K1s. That's under 18, and he's not too far off the pace. Misson and Elliott at Selbridge. They come from Bath. They're battling to make up ground after taking one at Stratham. Through the jungle, opens singles canoeists. These the first three in the men's senior K1s through Selbridge. Paddy Holmes in green in front, Fergus Cooper and Norman Brewitt. Meanwhile in Temple Mills, Carmel Beacons, 17 medals from Liffey Descent. She has more than any other woman. Leakston Dam, the only way round is on foot. 500-metre portage before they re-enter the water further downstream. And facing that prospect now, the leaders, Ian Ferguson and Paul McDonnell, the Olympic gold medalists from New Zealand. Now this is always a tricky part of the course because they've been cramped from sitting in the canoe for so long, and now they face a slippery slope out of the river, which they're taking gingerly enough. And then a difficult trek cross-country before they're back on the water. Temple Mills, this is Eamon O'Callaghan. 787, Patrick Kelly. Ian Tordoff and Melvin Swallow, they'll be second out of the water. Just as the leaders did before them, they'll take it nice and easy up here. And third out of the water, Ian Pringle and Howard Watkins. Most encouraging performance from the leading medal winner in the Liffey Descent. Pringle, a veteran of this kind of thing. Meanwhile, Morrissey, marooned at Temple Mills. But with a will and a rescuer, he's away. This troublesome trap offering no problems to Owen Keegan. Well, up ahead, the New Zealanders consolidate their lead midway between Leixlip and Lucan. This is the leader of the men's senior K1s, Fergus Cooper. Alongside him is coach Eugene Ryan. And standing by with the refreshment bottle, his father. It's thirsty work, this canoeing, swimming or no. And as always, the swiftest route to the goal. At Lucan Weir, Norman Brewitt is in front of the K1s. Cooper is now in second place. Malcolm Banks third at this stage. Pete Connor fourth, just behind him. Paul Murphy and Brendan Devlin in the senior K2s, battling to keep in touch. And at the back of the boat behind them, the familiar figure, famous English canoeist, George Oliver.